Aloha BMore Brew Crew. We are here at Late Edition and we're pouring up one of our Baltimore home brews. This is a Belgian Dubbel brewed up by a friend of mine, and he is by no means a professional brewer. He's just getting started, but he would love to know what you all think about one of his very first brews. If you could break it down for him. It's a recipe in progress.
How honest can we be here? Is this a
No, be totally honest. Yeah.
Right.
He wants solid feedback.
Okay.
So
all right.
Give it to him.
Belgian Dubbel, hard style to make.
Yeah. This feels like back to my days of Dr. Homebrew, where I would people would send in beers to us and we would judge them on a podcast.
Yeah.
So I guess we're gonna do aroma first. Or we do appearance first.
We can do AATMF like pros, or we can do BJCP. So
Normally we do can art first, but we don't have it.
you know what's funny is when I teach sensory classes, I always say appearance is super powerful and it biases you. And literally the name and the can art, I tell people, what do you evaluate first? And I'm like, oh, it's aroma. I'm like, oh, it's appearance. I'm like, it's the beer name in the can. Because if it's bad or good, you're already prejudging it.
Yep.
Right? So this one is perfect to me because it's very austere and very low-key. I love the label. 10 out of 10.
I'm totally the guy. I have bought beer in a store because of the can art and the label.
Well,
I
this looks like a West Veteran beer.
No. You mean like even the cap was black, but yeah, of course. I mean, look at the appearance. For a double, it looks light, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's more orange versus brown.
Brown,
Yeah.
but the great lacing. It's a lasting head. It looks other than the fact that it's too light in color, it looks pretty good. It's a little.
Yours has nice tight bubbles. Mine's a little bit more fish-eyed, but it could be the cleanliness of the glass. It could be the way I poured it. But it does have good foam. You see how it rouses nice, you know?
Yeah.
It's a good foam.
Not sure if it's bottle condition, but it's it's fairly clear, and we're not pouring a bunch of sediment out right now. There's no floaties or anything like that, so that's good.
I get some haze, but it's not like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, there definitely is some haze.
Yeah. Light tan, foam. Let's say dense bubbles. This one's better than my previous pour. So nice tight, meringue like foam. It's persistent. It's nice, good lacing.
It is, it's definitely great lacing. Looks like a good Belgian beer in that respect.
On the nose right away, I get like that Belgian candy, like a light caramel.
I get some pepper on the nose.
I get very low pepper, very low white pepper, medium low, like that Belgian caramel sugar, almost like that. What's that company? Like the candy, the 60 and 90, 120. It kind of smells like the lighter version of that. I get like a honey note, cooked honey. I'd say low intensity cooked honey. It's actually.
But I think it's more. I think it's more phenol driven than fruit driven, but it's kind of middle of the road on both of those.
See, I think it has lower phenols than you're getting. Maybe I'm just not as tuned into them right now.
Maybe the last time I had a Belgian beer was maybe 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm. But that's just the beauty of tasting with other people, is that you kind of find out where you are,
I can tell you that the gentleman that brewed this is a friend of mine, and he is a very humble guy, and he would just love your honest feedback.
Yeah.
Well, he's just getting started.
I'm giving the honest feedback.
Yeah, we're running right now. I mean, I think keep going through that, and flavor-wise, like again for a double, I feel like it's a little bit light in terms of the darker fruit flavors. It's more neutral in terms of. I mean, there's definitely some fruit here, but it's not like the deeper dark fruits like plum, raisin sort of character.
Yeah, I don't get the plum fig raisin. I'm getting more like marmalade orange, light, cooked honey, and a little bit like orange blossom. But it's pleasant. But to me, it almost tastes like a big Belgian pale ale without the hop character. but it's nice. It's an enjoyable
Well,
beer.
even Belgian pales are not super dark either.
Right.
I mean, they're not super light either. So that actually, if this guy wants to enter in a competition, this might be a good candidate to do as a Belgian pale. Some of the Belgian pales like Deconic are more in the amber range like this. They're generally not as fruity or as phenolic as this, I don't think, but. I think that's closer to what this beer would be. Like, hey, thinking about the competition, that's what I would do. Double, not really nailing the mark on the double, but like generally a really clean beer. There's nothing like that I'm tasting that's off. I'm like, oh, you did this wrong or anything, other than just nailing the recipe and trying to hit the style perfectly. I think is kind of where I'm struggling with the most. Like.
He's told me it's definitely like a recipe in progress that he's trying to work with. And
so I think it's neat in that a lot of times if I have homebrew, especially Belgian, what I find is that it doesn't have enough phenol. This one has phenol, so it has the peppers, white pepper. Sorry, for me, it does lean more light stone fruit, cooked honey and marmalade orange versus plum fig. So that's out of style. But the one thing that when I sipped it is that it's actually dry.
It is very dry, yeah.
So that's good because most of these Belgian beers, especially Americans, they make them so sweet and they're undrinkable to me because now you have a sweet phenolic mess, right? This beer is drinkable. Are we evaluating it as a good beer? Yes, it's a good beer. Are we evaluating it as a double? It's not a double, right?
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yep.
He's a fucking homebrewer, right? So it's delicious. It's a good job.
Yeah.
I like that it's dry. So if you wanted to increase those, plum fig, maybe you got to mess with like some
Special B and maybe up more of the sugars. Like use more of the dark sugars and less of the light sugars. If you're using candy syrup, use some of the darker ones as well. Maybe even like for a double. I know I do it for Belgian Dark Strongs, but increase the boil time. Like get some caramelization in the boil. That also gives you some malt complexity with the beer too. And I think that's a great kind of mix for a beer like this is to have that malt complexity, even for a double. Like now I'm almost excited to brew a double to think about that. Like, hey, let's boil it pretty hard and get some caramelization in the beer too.
I really like using those Belgian candy syrups to drive the flavor. And Castle, especially the I think it's called Monastic, or I'm probably saying it wrong, but Castle makes some really great Carabelge and Caravian, and definitely Special B. That's going to drive it towards those darker fruit flavors.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for the amazing feedback.
Malcolm, you want to take a guess? Sorry, guess on the yeast strain. I think that's kind of the fun part too. There's only so many homebrew yeast strains you can use.
Yeah, so it's not the Chimay strain. It's way too characterful. So my guess would be
it's still not. I don't think it's a Shoof either because that one is really phenolic. I don't think it's phenolic as that either. So
I thought it was going to be Le Shoof. That's what I thought it was going to be.
I think maybe the Westmalle strain.
Yeah. So I was going to guess Le Shoof. So where's your notes?
Here is what he put together.
This is always the fun part.
All right, so.
Oh, wait, but Ardennes is my guess. Go ahead.
There, that's all. That's what he put together right there.
He used. Those are his notes. Those are
just some notes he put together for you.
So
bottle condition for 4 months.
Okay, so let's find out. Let's talk to him later. I'm just curious.
He is a member of the BMore Brew Crew, so you can totally hit him up for some more information on the brew.
This is what this gentleman said. He said toffee, plums, raisins. Agree, disagree? But if someone tastes like, this is what I tell people when we're tasting stuff, right? If you say orange, and I say cooked apple, close. Well, maybe pears and apples, right? Palm fruit, we're close. If someone says chocolate and vanilla, we're wrong. Someone's wrong, right? So, toffee, wouldn't disagree with him there. Plum, I don't agree. Raisins, I could see, especially golden raisin. I could see that. Dried fruit, which ones?
Yeah,
so dried
fruits, right?
So when you're doing these descriptions, anyone out there, don't say dried fruit. Say which dried fruit, and then say which intensity. So you say. So I would say, is it dried apricot? Is it low, medium, or high, or some variation there? Floral. That doesn't do much for me. Tell me it's
could be anything. Could be derived from yeast. Could be derived from hops. Could be derived from even any kind of like floral additions.
Yeah,
like
could be an ester alcohol combo,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So if you say floral, say what? So say geranium, say rose.
Yeah.
So and then give intensity. So if you say floral, say it tastes like a dried rose, medium.
And I think you're given more in terms of judging less than somebody like describing their own beer. But like when you're judging, that's what you want to do. You want to like get into levels of intensity and then be more specific. Don't say citrus. What type of citrus are you talking about?
This motherfucker has an awesome last name. Holzapfel. Can I swear on this podcast?
Yeah,
I don't know.
man,
Yeah.
go for it.
This is an awesome.
You're not allowed to
first
swear.
time.
You're not allowed to swear at the brewery though. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
we have service here on
Yeah,
Sundays.
there's dogs
Kidding,
present.
Kidding.
Yeah, cool. Hey, good beer, bud. Good beer.
Yeah, it's great. I enjoy it.
Thanks for breaking that down for us, gentlemen. Appreciate it.